to be able to stand up with Chinese colleagues or even Russian colleagues, to be able to have an insightful and learned discussion about how we understand human rights, what we want them to be, and not to accept at face value that human rights are no longer individualistic, anti-state things, that they need to respect the national and cultural traditions. You know, these arguments are very slippery. There's nothing wrong with national and cultural traditions, and China may have national and cultural traditions that are very different from ours. But that does not mean that we should not be giving up the type of consensus that has come into existence over the many decades after World War II. We have basically a World War II legacy. We have the never again that we want to kind of reflect in our positions. And I think the crucial task nowadays is not just for human rights defenders or members of parliament to kind of translate this into our domestic legal situations, but also to be able to stand up for the concept of human rights as we see it towards those alternative views. I do not want to call them revisionist. They are very free and totally okay with having their own opinion on this, and we need a discussion. And if, as you see, the position papers that are emerging between Russia and China, between BRICS countries, we see that the world is no longer set on a similar situation here. And we have to be aware of it, and so connecting human rights and security will be a very is a very good way of doing this. So once you go to Tusha, once you continue your studies, and also while you're studying here, please keep that in mind. Human rights is a fantastic field, but it's not just intellectually pleasing. It's becoming like a matter of life and death these days, to have very principled positions on this and to be able to defend them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Christman, for outlining these challenging and controversial issues related to contemporary stage of implementation of human rights. Now I would like to invite Ms. Lana Karlova, the head of the National Erasmus Plus office in Armenia, who constantly supports all the initiatives related to all the programs actually we implement, and in general, and specifically those supported by the European Union. Please, Ms. Karlova, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Dear High EU political officials, Ms. Victorine, dear Armenian high political officials, Ms. Tovasyan and Ms. Grigoryan, my dear Rector, Mr. Ohanyan, and dear academic officials of European Union, Mr. Krusman, my dear friends, dear colleagues, and dear students. It's my honor to congratulate Eurasia International University with the launch of the Jean Monnet module, European Union, Human Rights and Security, Fundamental Rights and Security, which is going in the format of double a master program together with Touche University, European Union, Security and Human Rights. This is really achievement. Jean Monnet activities run under Erasmus Plus program, which many of you already know that now we are on the second phase of this huge opportunity to cooperate with the European Union Erasmus Plus, and this phase has 26.2 billion of euros. And it's covering all kind of cooperation with European Union institutions. And Jean Monnet focus on teaching, learning, making research, and organizing debates over the different issues of the European Union. And particularly this module has so many directions of discovering European law, discovering external relation law, human rights, fundamental rights of European Union, many other issues. In Armenian academic society, we have several places, several institutions which are running modules and projects covering European studies. This is Yerevan State University, Armenian State University of Economics, Brusov State University, but now from Brusov State University is transformed, this module is transformed to Eurasia International University, and my congratulations having you appointed head of law department, Ms. Anna Khvorostyankina. It's a brave, it's absolutely open-minded, smart professor, educator, who did already so much for the developing understanding and having much more skills and knowledge on how to protect the country, how to be a professional, how to be a good specialist in the area of human rights. So congratulations. Eurasia International University is the one and first among private institutions and some of the state universities which are doing so much through the all around 2 decades. They are, having a good academic staff and covering so different aspects of different fields and involving in their cooperation with European Union. Mr. Ohanyan already noticed and already mentioned one of the biggest project, very important project, ARMDOC project, where this university is cooperating with 4 European institutions and coordinating all these activities among 10 institutions, the ministry, Center of Quality Assurance. It's a huge work have been done, and for your students, this module and this double degree, it's a real great opportunity for your career, for your understanding how the peace, how the human rights should be defended in this very complicated region as the South Caucasus. We already passed through awful 44 days of the war, and now we are witnessing this invasion of Russian Federation to the sovereign country of Ukraine. And so nice that colors of European Union, blue and yellow, are very coincide of Ukrainian flag as well. So we are among, together with in solidarity with the Ukrainian people. So I believe that for students and for those who will teach students and provide professional attitudes, it will be a very interesting and challenging journey of debating, of having cases and making the case studies and discussing many issues. Absolutely interesting, and I'm a bit envious of students just for your study here and next in Tushir University. So good luck to you. Be very careless and careful of doing your researches and being full of questions. making the networks. And good luck to the study and good luck to this university to exploring new fields and making new initiatives in the field of internationalization and establishing of the human rights in this region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lana, for these words of support. It's this year already 35 years of Erasmus Plus program. Of course, for Armenia, the participation in the program was not that long, but during all these years, our National Erasmus Office is constantly here to support all of the participants of these initiatives. And thank you very much for raising the problem of Russia-Ukraine war. For me, it's not only solidarity, but half of my heart is in Ukraine, so thank you very much for touching upon this huge problem. Thank you. Dear guests, thank you very much for your speeches, for your inspiring words. Now I would like to briefly introduce the program, the module, and to outline its objectives and future activities. So the major objective of the module is, of course, in line with Jean Monnet activities to strengthen teaching and research on European Union. In the core, in the topical core of the module, we have the dichotomy of security and human rights. But what is important, we try to, first of all, explain the EU as a global actor. So through analysis of this dichotomy, we're trying to introduce the European Union in both its internal and external action as a global security player. The Jean Monnet is integrated into the master program, into the double degree master program in human rights, security, European and international law. This program is a 2-year program implemented jointly with Tusha University. So during the first year, students are studying here at Eurasia International University, and for the second year, successful candidates are selected to go and continue their studies at Tusha University at the program of human rights and security. So the module is in the core of this master program. Our conceptual approach, first of all, is to deliver up-to-date knowledge to students, the most recent developments, the topical issues that are targeting now both the academic community and also, of course, policymakers. It is also the focus on professional development, and by professional development we understand both the development of skills, but also, which is more important, the development of values. We strongly believe that today's professionals really need to have this core, the value-based core, the respect to fundamental values, which are not only EU values, but which are also our constitutional principles and may be considered as global categories. So in the structure of curriculum, we have 4 major components. Component dealing with theoretical legal studies, international law, European Union law, and skills component. And the module is actually combining all these aspects. So here we have the list of courses that were specifically developed and introduced within the Jean Monnet module. So the first course is the introduction to EU law, its principles, institutions, and decision-making procedures. Introduction to EU external relations law, explaining how EU acts globally, what limitations, objective limitations it may have. It is EU fundamental values, theoretical and practical aspects, because obviously we should not idealize the EU. We have also to see how the problems are tackled. The cases of Poland, the cases of Hungary, they serve as examples that without proper internalization of values, no conditionality works. Yes, and we also have to look at these negative practices as well in order to avoid the repetition of the same situations in our context and to draw some lessons from these cases. Then the course on human rights, security, and the principle of proportionality. This is extremely important for adjudication of cases, for protection of human rights by courts, understanding that human rights may be limited, but there should be some principles observed, and the principle of proportionality is one of the core principles of the EU law that should also be implemented domestically in the constitutional context as well. Then EU as a security actor, enlargement and ENP context. This course is already a mix of law and political science, international relations, implementing the interdisciplinary approach, and global security, conflict resolution, and peace building, the role of the European Union. So we address these issues generally and then focus more specifically on how EU acts in this very complicated context. So we have a wonderful team of lecturers. I'm the academic coordinator and cover the first part, let's say, of law courses, while interdisciplinary courses dealing with both issues of law and security are covered with our distinguished colleagues, Professor Anna Ohanyan from Stonehill College, and also Professor Marina Rabinovich from Agder University in Norway. So these scholars deal with the conflict resolution in their research, and their contribution is really very important addition to the module. In the module activities, we have the following. First of all, of course, it is teaching, but also it is learning by doing. It is organizing simulations of decision-making procedures in the EU institutions in order to bring students into real-life context, in order to make them experience these challenges that are usually related to the necessity to take a decision, but at the same time to observe national interests of the member states, which quite often are conflicting, which quite often are opposite, and it is really challenging to come to the consensus. And as we know, in external dimension, it is very important that all the member states act with a single voice, which is, of course, not easily achievable usually. Within this learning by doing, we also underline the concept of internationalization of education. We organize joint teaching activities together with Stusha University, but we also organize major conferences, major academic events. And we are really honored this year with the contribution of Professor Ohanyan and also Professor Narses Kopalyan. Jean Monnet Module co-organizes the Summer Institute devoted to the major global shifts, the dramatic changes in the region in global context, which are related to Russia-Ukraine war. It is called the Summer Institute Russia-Ukraine War, Statecraft and Shifting Geopolitics in Eurasia. So this is a joint event. We invite wholeheartedly everybody who is interested in the topic. And this event, this high-profile institute involving scholars both from Armenia, from Europe, and from the United States, will be followed up with the event organized specifically for students, the student forum, to reflect on what will be discussed and provide the vision of younger generation on the major challenges of human rights and security. In addition to teaching and internationalization, learning by doing, developing of skills, we also want to extend our impact and to address wider audience. So for this, we are planning to organize public lectures open to everybody interested in the subject matters. And our students will also record short videos, small films that will address the issues of what the EU is, how it works, how it deals with the issue of human rights, how it acts as a security actor globally and internally. And with the help of these user-friendly videos, we hope to spread also information and the results of our research. So the research is the next activity, and we are planning to publish internationally on the issues which are related to the subject matter of the module. So these are the major activities. I would like to stress that this program is really important for us. That is why when we applied for the Jean Monnet module, we actually opted for retroactive application of our grant agreement, because we were planning to introduce it anyway. Even without the financial support, of course, Jean Monnet Action extremely raises the visibility of the project. It provides additional opportunities, funding, of course, which is for universities quite often a very challenging issue. So we were absolutely ready to implement this program, regardless of the results of selection within the Jean Monnet initiative. But luckily, we were selected. The grant agreement was signed in spring, but we started implementing the program as early as this academic year. At the beginning of this academic year, so we were allowed this retrospective application of our grant agreement. That is why we have implemented this year the courses with the first cohort of our students. We will also organize the mentioned event, and the students will be actively participating in this event. So that is why I think that we are on track, and our objectives will be successfully implemented by the third year, and 3 cohorts of students will take the opportunity to participate in the program, and then within the double degree master program also to use this knowledge in order to build the new networks, in order to grow professionally already at Tusha University, our partner university within the double degree program. So thank you very much for your attention. Now I would like to take just 1 minute of your attention in order to celebrate our first cohort of students and to give them the certificates confirming that they successfully completed the first year of study and are admitted to the study program at Tusha University. So thank you very much. I would like to give the floor to Professor Ohanyan to give the certificates to first cohort of students. Ms. Gayana Saruhanyan, the top student, the best student in our group with the highest results in her studies. Ms. Lilit Babayan. Ms. Naride Gaustan. Mr. Ismail Salehi, our international student from Iran. Thank you. Thank you very much, and good luck with your further studies. Dear guests, thank you very much for being here today with us, for sharing this moment with us. We're very much looking forward to your participation in further activities. We are looking forward to building the dialogue with all of the institutions and further cooperation. I would like to express special thanks to the team of Eurasia International University, to the administration for their constant support and openness, and of course to Mr. Edgar Amirhanyan for perfect organization and logistic support of today's event. Thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing all of you in the future. Now, please join us in the informal part of the event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Դա